Hey Pinterest people! So I found myself obsessed with Pinterest. I'm always on it, constantly pinning things. I've started even pinning baby things. I don't even have a... Wait, where'd you come from? I don't even have a baby. But my favorite thing to pin are DIYs or do-it-yourself projects. I started to make things recently and I've realized that the thing that you pin may look like this, but then once you've finished, yours ends up looking like this. I created this channel to show you the Pinterest problems you can encounter. So you think, well, I can do that, that looks easy enough. And as I've started making my own things, I have found that there are so many Pinterest problems. So come along with me on this wonderful journey of Pinterest problems. For my first Pinterest problems project, I'm going to be making a DIY stepping stone. So I'm going to show you guys what I pinned, and then I'm going to tell you how I went about making it. I'm going to follow their directions exactly. So for the DIY stepping stone, the one that I pinned, they said to include cake pan, gasoline, alright, I admit, I used olive oil cooking spray, contact paper, old plates or saucers, glass gems and sea glass, chicken wire, rubber gloves, hammer, concrete mix, water, a bucket that you'll never be able to use again.
You ready to do this? Alright, let's do it.
Going to gracefully dump this into the bucket. So I anxiously took off my mold, and when I unveiled my beautiful stepping stone, this is what I got. A lot of the stones got covered up in the process. My stepping stone did not turn out. Dried pretty smoothly. It's actually like a stepping stone, but hardly any of my design is showing. The one thing that I found right away that didn't work was that they said once you laid down your design onto the sticky side up of the contact paper, you could pick it straight up and then you'll be able to see your design. When I tried to pick mine up, all the gems just fell off. So after I put all my gems back on, it's time to mix the concrete. I found this a huge challenge as well. In this project, and also on the bag of concrete, they don't suggest how much water to use for how much concrete you're using. So I had to guess. Then they suggest to cut the chicken wire because you're going to be laying down a piece of chicken wire in between two layers of concrete. And I find maybe cutting the chicken wire after you mix the concrete to be a bad idea, because if you do that, your quick set 20-minute concrete will start to quick set in that 5 minutes it takes you to cut your piece of chicken wire. So the last step that they say to include is to put the varnish over it. Now, maybe I would have done that, but I don't think I really want to preserve this particular stepping stone, so I skipped that step.
I really wanted to make one that worked, and I thought, well, how can I change the directions? I thought, well, why don't you just put the gemstones down last? So that's what I did.
But the biggest problem with this one is that my concrete was too dry. Now, I don't really know how much water to use, and since I eyeballed it the first time, I eyeballed it the second time, and it didn't turn out that great. Alright, so I tried one more time, and I added more water this time because when I tried it my way, putting the gemstones on top, that worked, but my formula of concrete was too dry. After adding more water, I got this. And I'd say that this turned out pretty darn good. The formula of the concrete seemed to be pretty good. My gemstones and everything that I laid out can be seen really nicely, and the bottom's really smooth. I'd say that this is the way to do it. They maybe had the right idea going on what I pinned, but I think overall, putting the gemstones down first is your number one mistake. Then, not telling me how much water to use in my concrete is the second mistake. So with my concrete, when I found that it was too dry, it kind of looked like oatmeal. But when I had the right formula with the right amount of water, it was more like a thick pudding. I think if you follow what I pinned exactly how I followed it, you're not gonna get a good stepping stone. You're gonna have a Pinterest problem. Overall, I found this project pretty Pinteresting. On my Pinterest scale, 1 being a Pinterest problem and 10 being Pinterest perfect, I give this particular pin a 3. So what I found to be part of the Pinterest problem was the contact paper. You didn't need that at all. Chicken wire, completely unnecessary. When I made my last one that turned out good, I didn't even use chicken wire. Next problem, putting the stones down first. Don't do that. The varnish, well, I guess if you want your stepping stone to be a little shiny. And then the last problem, how much water to use. You have no idea, you're guessing. So the total cost of this Pinterest production was around $30. Some of the stuff that I used I found around my house, like the rubber gloves, the hammer, so of course you're not going to have to go out and buy everything, but some of the things I found were completely useless and wasteful, like the contact paper. Sometimes the things that you're going to buy for these projects are going to be useless, are going to be wasted, and you'll never touch it again. If you want to find me on Pinterest, my link will be down below. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you have anything that you want me to try out on Pinterest problems, leave a comment for me down below, and maybe it'll be what I make in my next video. And most importantly, keep on pinning my Pinterest, people.